Thank you very much, Bo. Thanks for the opportunity. It's been a lot of fun, learned a lot of stuff. So when I think about the economic update, which is what I do every day. So I go live on YouTube 5 days a week at 7:30 a.m., Sunday through Thursday. I take Friday and Saturday off. That's like the world economy. But when I thought about what we did today, why I said yes to this event, why people are on the show, watching this, that's your personal economy. Right. And I would argue and advise that your personal economy is far more important than, the national economy. I have an econ degree, MBA. I've been studying this stuff for 30 years. So I geek out at a level that very few do. And I'll give you what I think is going on in the economy. But today is really hoping you think about your personal economy, and not only what your personal economy is today, but what do you want your personal economy to be in the future? What do you want it to be in the world of AI, in the world of economic cycles, of recessions and expansions? Well, how are you going to leverage the tax code, which is a reward system, not a penalty system, right? Back to one of their questions we took earlier today. Do you believe it's even possible to get rich or wealthy, right? I support a group or run a group called One Rental at a Time, just a collection of everyday wealth builders. We talk to people every week who are ninth grade dropouts, Section 8 moms, somebody who started their wealth journey with $230,000 negative net worth. So again, if you don't believe it's possible, I can't help you. In fact, if you don't believe it's possible, I don't want to be around you. I don't want that negativity. You have to believe it's possible, and that's where this all starts. So when I think about your personal economy, to me, it all starts with one number. It's not how much you make. It's not even net income, which is income minus taxes. It's actually income minus taxes minus your fixed expenses, right? What is your life cost? And at the end of that, it's often referred to as discretionary income. If you are sitting here today and you do not know what your discretionary income is on a month-to-month basis, shame on you. Fix that immediately. Pull out your last month, your last 90 days of spending, and figure out how much money you have left over. Discretionary income is essentially money that you can light on fire and nothing in your life changes. That's what discretionary income is. Now, in order to get on this journey, right, there's only 3 steps to getting wealthy. Step 1, grow discretionary income. And again, you can't grow it unless you know what it is. The beauty of growing discretionary income is there's only 3 ways. You can increase income, right? Wages, side hustle, whatever you want. 2, cut expenses. What do you need versus what do you want? And then number 3 is you do both. Having done this exercise, because again, I was like most people watching this, I had a 6-figure job and I spent every freaking penny. I was that person for a decade of my life. It wasn't until I did a need versus want analysis where we got really laser focused with my wife on growing discretionary income. Over the years now, as Bo's highlighted earlier, I accidentally created 17, side hustle or streams of income on the brand One Rental at a Time, it's still shocking to me as a non-entrepreneur that we did that. So I have done both. I've whacked expenses and I've grown income. The magic is when you can do both. So that's step 1, grow discretionary income. Step 2, as you have seen from all of the speakers today, whether it was Dr. Rachel or Tom or any boutique hotels or laundry or any of these, you need to become a lead at something. This is where I see a lot of people struggle. Everybody I've ever met or has come up to me wants to be rich, wants to be wealthy, but they don't know what they want to do. The reason I talk to Bo each and every week, we talk Wednesdays at 10:30 every Wednesday, is because he is the concierge to small business. He is that window or door or whatever you want to call it for most people to start that side hustle, to buy a business, to buy a franchise, to get into vending. He has this whole Rolodex of franchise, hundreds and thousands of options. It's why I call him the concierge to small business lending, because he's that gateway for so many people to see what's possible. You may not know what you want, but you have a passion and an interest, and he's the guy that you need to go to help. Because again, you could get in with 10% down and working capital and all these things that hurt my head to think about. But good news is he's passionate. He does all of that. So again, you got to become a lead at something. Please find your thing. Is it laundry? Is it vending? Is it residential real estate? Is it midterm rentals? Is it boutique hotels? And again, the list, I don't care if it's classic cars. I don't care if you're flipping Pokemon cards. I don't care if you're buying wine, baseball cards, whatever it is. Please figure out something that you want to become elite at. And then that's step 2, become elite. Step 3 is the one that everybody hates, but it is the most important one. You've got to do it for a decade. I get the luxury of talking to 12 to 14 to 15 millionaires each and every week. Everybody started in some situation. This is not a get rich quick. This is a get rich for sure. One of my millionaires I talk with, Coach Carson, who's known on Bigger Pockets a lot. It's about becoming a time billionaire. It's not about becoming Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone has wanted to be a billionaire probably most of his life. For most of us, if we were worth 10 million bucks or 2 million bucks, it would be enough, because we are about having options and the ability to go anywhere at any time with anyone. You don't have to bust your ass. I talk about financial freedom as a mountain, and it's your job to climb the mountain until you are comfortable, right? Olivia and I got to a point 7 years ago now where we were comfortable, and we chose to sit down, enjoy the view, reach down and pull people up. And, I reserve the right to change my opinion, and maybe Bo's going to talk to me into building a midterm rental portfolio in Vegas. You never know, anything is possible. But, so we could go higher if we choose to, but right now we have, chosen to enjoy the view and help people. So I would tell you today is about the personal economy. You have to take ownership. My favorite book that if you haven't read, you need to, is called Extreme Ownership. If you are blaming other people, you have given up all your power. And that is a very weak stance. I assume everything that happens in my world is my problem, because that gives me power. That allows me to own it and fix it. So I believe in extreme ownership. I do not like to deal with people that blame everybody else. That is a very weak stance that doesn't allow you to take ownership and make progress. If we were to step back now and look at the world economy, we are in an interesting place. We are about 6 months into President Trump's second term. If you go back and look on my channel, his day of his inauguration, I told you guys, buckle up. The first 6 months are going to be chaotic. I have no idea what's coming, but I know stuff is about to get batshit crazy. And boy, was I right. This tariff thing, which turned into a this thing, into a that thing, it was going to be chaotic. But you know what? It's about to get better. July 20th, which is 1 day away, I think, or 2 days away, is going to be the 6 month mark. And why is 6 month important? Why did I call 6 months 6 months ago? Because here's the deal. In politics, you're always playing for the next election. Guess what the next election is? It's going to be the midterm election. Guess when they start, talking about midterms? Right around right now. So what we are about to go through in the next 6 months is going to be night and day different to the first 6 months. It is going to be generally rainbows and unicorns and, sunshine, not chaotic darkness and clouds and all of that. So they're going to be a lot more positive. The big, beautiful bill is done. Whether you like it or not, it doesn't. If you like it or not, it doesn't matter. It's the rules of the road. And now we get to play by the rules of the road. And as we've heard today, there are many ways that you can take the rules of the road to your personal economy. That's our job. It's not to say whether we like it or not. That is wasted breath. What we were supposed to say is, this is what it means to me. This is how I can use it. And that's what I want people to think about. Because again, I believe the real estate industry, the industry that I look at every single day, has been in depression for 3.5 years. Ever since Jackson Hole, where Jerome Powell stood up and gave a 5-minute speech that basically said, "Thou shall be pain," the real estate industry has been in a depression. I do believe that July, which is almost over, and August will mark the bottom. I am not talking price. I am talking transactions. By marking a bottom in transactions, we are going to start to see the real estate industry be a positive contributor to GDP. To date, for the last 3.5 years, real estate has been a negative to GDP. Again, real estate is about 12% of the US GDP. So it is 1/8 of our economy. And it has been a subtraction for 3.5 years. It is about to be a positive. So again, that is coming. If you are in the real estate industry, agent, mortgage broker, title, appraiser, whatnot, the last 3.5 years have sucked. Good news, August is the bottom. Bad news, it's not going to be a V-shaped recovery. It's not going to go right down and bounce back up. That's not how this happens. If you want to see what's coming, go back and study 1978 to 1981. 1981 marked a 50% drop in real estate transactions. And it took 13 years to get back to the 1978 number. So this is going to be a long, slow climb out of this, but it will be positive. It will be heading in the right direction. If you add on top of that, your personal economy, your personal brand, these are where you really should be looking. I think everybody has a personal brand, whether you like it or not. Again, it is what people say about you when you're not in the room. And if you are going to be an entrepreneur, whether you're buying a franchise or a business or doing vending, you have the ability to, accelerate that or detract from it with what your personal brand is. I think personal brand is something that we're going to think a lot about in the next 10 years. We probably didn't think about in the last 10 years. And again, I do like the concept of being a time billionaire. If you're talking about the economy, the US economy, I'll give you these things. If I was just an everyday individual, I think there's 3 or 4 monthly statistics that you should look at. Because again, every day more stuff comes. But this is what I would look at. Number 1, right now, rates are on hold because the job market is sitting at 4.1% unemployment rate, down from 4.3. Weekly unemployment claims last week came in at 221. 6 weeks ago, they were 250. So what I would tell everybody to do is every Thursday morning at 5:30 a.m. Pacific, we get weekly unemployment claims. What you want to do is just check on that every Thursday or Wednesday. I forget, Thursday or Wednesday. Thursday, I think, Thursday. So is it going up or down? And what I would tell you, the yellow flag is 250. So any number above 250,000 is a yellow flag, and anything above 300 is a red flag. Today, the last report, 221, green flag, not a problem. Next up, whether you like it or not, we are a consumption-based economy, which means we are a retail economy. If you want to know if the consumers are spending or not, watch retail sales. Retail sales are reported once a month. They were just reported last Thursday. Retail sales for the month were up 0.9. They were expected to be up 0.2. You don't need to care about the number. You need to care about the trend. Is it going up or going down? And is it beating or not the expectations? That's all you need to know. You don't need to know the, inflation adjusted real terms. None of that nonsense. Is retail up or retail down? And then inside the real estate industry, the one metric that you should be watching is called existing home sales, not pending, not new home sales. Just what is going on with existing home sales, because that's a closing. A pending home sale is just pending. You go into escrow, but as we've seen, cancellations are at a record high, and new home sales really aren't that helpful because, as if you don't know this, builders are eating margin, buying down rates and all of these other things and giving discounts. So it's existing home sale. So again, a lot of stuff going on now. The last thing I will say about the economy is, I have termed something 2 years ago that I think is going to be proven to be true. Everybody's been calling for a recession, like the dot-com, like the Great Recession. And typically recessions are all or nothing, right? They just, everything goes down together. What I think we have just went through is going to be the first thing that economists look back on and say, that was a rolling recession. For example, real estate, manufacturing, travel, all of these things went into and out of recessionary conditions at different times. So I think what you have just lived through and probably felt very uncomfortable with was a rolling recession. This is a term that I learned first, back in the early 90s when I was getting my degree. They always pointed at 1982 as a rolling recession. It was very weak. It didn't really fit the model, but that's all they had. I think what they're going to look back on in 2022 to 2025 is the first rolling recession, because different parts of the economy went in and out of a recession. That way GDP was never crazy high and never crazy low. So again, at the end of the day, guys like me love to look at the world economy, the national economy, But as I started this, what today is about is your personal economy. What can you do in your personal economy to grow revenue, reduce expenses, grow your brand, become a time billionaire? And that's what I have. I'm always happy to take questions, but that's what I came with.
That's awesome. Thank you. So you do think so transactions, you see transactions increasing.
So let me be very clear, and I've called this with Lance Lambert, the CEO of Resi Club. So September 2025 will be the first month where we see year-on-year growth in several years. So September 2025, in my opinion, will exceed September 24 and 2023. So not until September, but pretty close, 6 weeks away.
But that's just transactions,
Correct.
not price.
Not price. I'm not talking price.
Because price is going to be specific to the market.
Well, price is a very interesting one that a lot of the crash bros don't understand. And one of the reasons that price has been very sticky is we always use what's called median price. And if you don't know this, and I've tried to educate people on this for years, the reason that the median price went up so long is because of product mix. What happened is the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, broke the housing market. What he did is he allowed a 9-month period or a 12-month period where everybody bought or refied at 2%, at 3% interest. So what we have seen the last 2.5 years is the entry level, the first time home buyer home is stuck. So they're not transacting. So the only stuff that's transacting is the move up in the high end. And when you transact more of the expensive stuff and not enough here, it just yanks the median home price higher. So that's what we've been suffering through.
So they need, in order for that to fix that, they need to drop rates.
Well,
and they never will drop that low, at least not in the next couple of years.
So this is what people don't understand. There's 3 ways that you unlock the broken housing market. One, like you've just said, I believe if you got the 30-year rate below 4%, we would see an avalanche of supply and it would come out. Now you need to ask yourself, what are the chances we go sub 4? Probably not good, but that would do it. Next up, you could have massive price discounts like the Great Recession, right? The market I was in, Fresno, California, collapsed 70%. Many markets collapsed 40%. However, we don't have the ingredients, the kindling for a 70% housing crash. It's just not there, right? We don't have variable rate mortgages. We don't have the other things. And then the third one, which is very much like 1978 to 81 and then 81 to 94, time. We need a decade of wage growth, a decade of births and babies and divorces and all of these other things to unlock, because at some point life happens and it doesn't matter what interest rate you have, but the closer you are to the day you got that rate, the less stress you have. So unfortunately, the most likely outcome is we have 7 to 10 years of just slogging our way through a broken housing market.
That's why I was glad I came today, because I learned some other strategies to make sense of it, because it's hard, right? If you don't have a portfolio like you have, right, and you're getting started in rental real estate, it's a tough time right now.
It has probably been, oh no, not probably. It is the hardest time since 1981. I've studied real estate back to 1970, and there's only 1 year worse than today, and it was 1981. And if you don't know what happened in 1981, interest rates were 19%. That was harder. But today's the second hardest in 50 years.
I think today, one thing is I learned that I have a lot of smart friends.
You do. You have some pretty heavy hitters.
I know all these great people. I think that's a secret, right? Get in the rooms with people that are really smart. And as you can see, I have really smart people that I'm friends with.
Very good
right?
network. Yes.
I was like, yeah, that's pretty. So anyways, and also I should celebrate that I've built a network of all these people I can call on the phone and say, hey, can you help me do this? How do I underwrite this boutique motel? Whatever it is. But for you out there watching, I think I didn't do this to confuse you. I did this to open up your mind to, there's a lot of stuff to invest in. You at least, you could take the conservative route, which is buy one rental at a time. They're single family homes. You put a property manager in. Very lowest risk, obviously, if you follow a proven system of creating a buy box and get really specific. If you go to listen to his story about the zip code, and that's what he knew, and he knew when he had a good deal. And then he was able to execute during a downturn in the market, which enabled him to essentially retire at 45, which is, I wish I could have done that, right? I'm 47 now. But so anyways, just learn those strategies and, and understand the triangle method ultimately, which is, tax strategy, operating business, buy real estate, right? And then figure out what strategies are best aligned with you. What do you have available? I mean, I think that's the ultimate message. And lastly, I'll shut up, is you have to become extremely disciplined and practice this on a daily way. If you want to drop weight, it's a simple, how many calories are you eating?
Calories in, calories out.
Right. And so like just do the work, as this guy always says. I think his hat says that. Do the work. I believe in that. I buy into it. And that's why I listen to his podcast. And he encourages me to stay disciplined. And I think just that's the key. I make progress every day. So that's all I think. We're getting out here a little early today because we didn't take a lunch like we were supposed to. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Any closing remarks?
Again, what I would close with, we can take questions. People may have some questions for us, but I think a lot of people that I interact with are closet economists, and they're spending a lot of time looking at the unemployment rate, yelling at Jerome Powell for not cutting rates. And I almost think that's comical, because I think too many people spend time yelling into the void when they're not even taking ownership of their personal economy, right? I believe most people should focus on their personal economy, follow the rules of the road out here. I see too many people out here, maybe it feels good to vocalize and whatnot, but their personal economy sucks. Back to extreme ownership. Own your personal economy. Spend time thinking about your personal economy, and then, the rules of the road will take care of you. That's my closing thought.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Michael, for participating. Did an excellent job. You were able to stick through without getting up for 7 hours. That is amazing. That's a testament to discipline. All right. Thanks, everybody.